day so far. Anyone learnt anything?
Yes.
Since I last asked?
Yes.
Very exciting. So Daniela Wells, again, what's lovely about Daniela, she's not part of our direct team or even our sideline team. In fact, Daniela's upline nation team is in the US. I know you're going to explain you're through Zoe Allen and Fiona McCarthy, regional vice presidents, executive regional vice presidents you may have heard of. But Danni has got a phenomenal success story, and she really told me off the other day because I said she's a busy mum of 2 and she started this business and got to region within 12 months, and she quickly said, LOL, 11 months. And again, this is a definite, you know, success loves speed. And Danni, you've had a fantastic journey. We've got to know each other briefly. We met for the first time at the VP retreat. I think the area retreat's good. Wait till you get to the VP retreat. Over breakfast, and we've become friends, and we've connected on this journey. And when you said that you had consultants in the area who were coming, I couldn't miss the opportunity for you to come and share some of your story. So, giving you a sneak preview of her Eye on Arbonne and her story, I'd love to welcome. Well, you've driven down, so what time did you leave home this morning?
About just after 6.
6 o'clock this morning, to come down from Leicestershire. Is it Leicestershire? Yeah, near Melton Mowbray. Yeah. To come here and to be here to share. So give it up for Regional Vice President Danni.
Very nervous, and I just want to say thank you so much for having me here. I feel very welcome. You guys are so lovely, and I knew you were a lovely nation, a lovely team anyway from Facebook, but just meeting you all, I just feel like this is just the best place to be, and it's just, oh God, it's just amazing, so thank you. Okay, so my name is Danni Wells, and I'm just going to talk a little bit about my story, hopefully without crying. Okay, so when I was a little girl, I used to dream of speaking one day and standing and saying some beautiful words that would hopefully inspire the people that were listening. There was only one problem to that. I had nothing to talk about, just a minor problem. And it's now really ironic that here I am, stood talking about my life. So I'll take you right back to when I was a child. So my childhood is a really raw time, so I'm going to go into massive detail. My mum had me when she was really young, my dad was in prison, and things were really tough. And what I used to do was always look at everybody else that had this magical thing in their life, what was happiness. They were happy, and I wasn't. And every day I used to see people being happy, I used to see people being picked up from school, and their parents were so pleased to see them, and they had this massive connection. And I used to wish upon a first star every time I used to see one and just go, please. I wasn't materialistic, I just used to go, please, just let me have happiness in my life somehow. That was all I ever wanted. I just was in search of this feeling of happiness, watching everybody else have it. So when I turned 17, I decided to move out and start on my own. And I got a job in an optician's, funnily enough, Specsavers. I'm sat next to 2 people that I've never met before that both worked at Specsavers, so maybe it's something about Specsavers.
Clear vision.
I absolutely loved my job. I worked my way up in ophthalmology. I absolutely love it. I made friends. I was very socially awkward as a child, so to learn skills from a late teenager on how to make friends was a really big deal for me, and I started to find that feeling of happiness. So I'd bounce out of bed every single morning, eager to get to work, and everything seemed fine. I was finding my feet. But a few years later, following somebody breaking into my house, I was attacked in my own home, and my world began to crumble. There was police, investigations, it just was really nasty. And I found myself in really deep depression and anxiety, and I was in the middle of a nervous breakdown at only 22 years old. It took me a year to even leave the house, to even begin to rebuild my life. So after a while, I did find some strength to do so, and I returned to my loved career in ophthalmology, and I tried to patch my life back together again. It took some time, but eventually things started to come together. I met my now husband Ian, who just made everything great. He is a kind, lovely, funny man, and I knew life with him, whatever it threw at us, would be a journey worth having. And anybody here that is married will know it is a journey, but it is one worth having. We went on to have a precious baby girl named Farah, who shone so brightly into our lives. Anyone looking in would have said that we had it all. And we did. Things were really good. I was finally starting to feel really happy with things. When Farah was 1, our second precious daughter came along. But here is where the unpredictable happened in our life. When you least expect it, we had this tiny little baby called Ivana, and to look at her, she was picture perfect. She had 10 perfect tiny toes and 10 perfect tiny fingers. But on the inside, her body was on shutdown mode. She hadn't even had the first hour of her life to enjoy yet, and she was born with a severe and unrecoverable brain hemorrhage, and she had a huge stroke. She spent the majority of her early life on intensive care before moving to a high dependency ward. Watching your tiny innocent baby fight endlessly for her life sucks out every piece of happiness inside of you. It's like a gut-wrenching feeling, so if anybody's ever had to enjoy that, it's just absolutely something I wouldn't wish upon my worst enemy. Ivana, our little miracle, fought, and we eventually managed to bring her home. To be told she wouldn't have a quality of life and to expect to care for her 24/7. This news meant that one of us had to give up our career to be her full-time carer, and I chose to do this. I said goodbye to the job I loved after 7 years and the lifestyle that we had, and I watched my husband start to work 7 days a week to help with our finances, because we went from having just over £2,000 a month coming in to now just under £1,000. It didn't even touch the bills that the average household has coming out. All luxuries went out the window. Every month we could barely cover every bill we had going out, so debt racked up higher and higher. 2 years passed and my identity had vanished. I was attending 5 to 6 appointments with Ivana a week in 3 different cities while juggling an active Farah. So I completely related to your story with occupational therapy and all of that. I loved my daughters so much, but this was not the life that I'd promised them. This was not what I'd envisioned as a child, myself promising that my adult life would be better. I felt such a failure. I tried so hard in life, but this unpredictable event had led us down a path that we were completely unprepared for. Anything I looked into doing meant I'd have to be away from my daughters, and then who would take Ivana to all of her appointments? I did attempt to start many businesses. I started making crafts, but I realised that I just was not a crafty person at all. I bought a candy cart to take to weddings and christenings, but I just could not stand the sweets. I couldn't stand them around me. I don't like sweets, so that business got sold very quickly. I made sock monkeys thinking this is genius, but I realised I didn't have a good relationship with the sewing machine, so that ended very quickly after one sock monkey was made. I started making hair clips for girls. That lasted 3 hair clips. That was closed. And then I started buying fancy dress in bulk online to sell at retail. But no one had told me that you have to pay for the postage per item to send to people, so no profit, no point. So I realised that I had no skills really to start my own business. I was completely and utterly optionless. I was going to spend my entire life on government help, feeling miserable, and bringing up my children, also looking out, seeing other people being happy, and I didn't want my children to feel like how I felt, looking at other people thinking I wish I had what they have. One day, my friend Emma Dickinson asked me why I was on Facebook moaning so much and not changing anything about my life. If you know Emma, she's very cutthroat. She said, "You're always on Facebook playing victim and worries me." Obviously, I thought, God, what bitch. She's very, very different to me. This is my sponsor, she's very different to me. She said, "Danny, why don't you take a look into network marketing?" And my first thought was, no way am I walking the streets with a double pushchair, a baby strapped into a carrier, pulling a granny trolley full of plastic catalogue bags, posting them through people's doors. That was what I thought network marketing was. Emma stopped me in my tracks straight away and told me I was either ignorant or misinformed. She's really cold. Anyway, she said, "Look, Danny, do you eat, do you drink, and do you shower?" And I said, "Yes, I do." And she said, "Okay, and when you find something that you love, do you tell other people? Do you post on Facebook in between all of your moanings? Do you post?" Literally, time hop is awful because it reminds you of everything you used to post. She said, "Do you recommend things on Facebook all the time?" And I said, yes, I do. You know that. I felt like she was talking to me a bit like a child. And she said, "Okay, so when you like a film or you see a good offer, you're always putting it on Facebook or telling other people about it." And she said, "Imagine if all of that recommending that you do for free, imagine if you got paid for it." And that was where I had this light bulb moment. because I realised that actually she was right. I did eat, drink and shower, and I did recommend things free of charge. So I absolutely could do that for a company that paid me, and I could do that around hospital appointments with Ivana. So I could do this. I already loved helping people. And Ivana, my daughter, has a lot of seizures, and without a moment's notice, she's rushed off in an ambulance. So I knew this business could fit around that. I could make Ivana and her medical needs my priority, and my business could work around that. The fact that I couldn't afford my bills at the time made me even more determined to start my own business. I knew if I didn't change something, then nothing would ever change, and I could make this work if I really wanted to. My journey didn't go as planned. I realised it wasn't easy. I told all of my friends, and they all literally thought I'd been brainwashed or was part of some really weird cult. My father-in-law, who I don't know if anybody here has seen the video I posted, I'm stood next to my Mercedes, laughed at me the entire way of me building my business until I went to his house and waved a £7,000 monthly paycheck in his face, and he stopped laughing then. And now so if anyone has anyone unsupportive, get a big paycheck and just wave it in their face, because now he's really supportive. My husband, when I initially told him, thought upon my description of Ian, I'll be paid to use shampoo and get a car, thought I was off out to clean cars. Genuinely, that's what he thought I was doing. Despite his "what the hell are you doing" talks, he soon understood it after I practiced and practiced and practiced and practiced and practiced the Discover Arbonne on him 1,000,000 times a day. He understood the business, and eventually he started his own Arbonne business and is now almost an area manager. He's amazing. It was simple enough. I stuck into self-learning, and I learned from my mistakes, and I realised that some people who laugh at you in the beginning just need you to prove that you are committed to this and to learning, and are going to stick around with your clients that you build up. They need to see you prove yourself first, and that's perfectly okay. So many people will just watch you on your journey first. 11 months after starting my business and working so hard in snippets of time here, there and everywhere, I promoted to regional vice president. A huge sigh went out, followed by so many tears. I was a mess. I did it. I made a business work for me and my family priorities. I made so many people happy with my help over the past year. Clients, business builders who I introduced to Arbonne and this lifestyle. I am so passionate about this business and what it enables other people to have. So if you know someone, or if you know someone who knows someone, we all do, who is just not winning at life, like I wasn't, in despair and truly believing that every door is shut to them, I urge you to share this with them. They may be so desperate for help but too proud to ask, or they might be really misunderstood about what you do. Explain it to them. If you've already explained to them, they've already said no, but you think that maybe they didn't get it, ask to practice on them. That's a really great way to introduce this again to them. I didn't have a lot of money to start my business. I do 100% believe that if you can have as many products as possible to start with, it enables your business to go quicker. Unfortunately, that wasn't an option for me. So what I did was my first order was 150 points, and I worked my little bum off. I worked so hard learning about the products and listening to what other people were saying, so that even if I hadn't personally used a product in those early days, I could say, so-and-so had used it and this is what they found. And every single paycheck I had from Arbonne, I reinvested back into my business. So I promoted to district in the first 4 months, and then I could reinvest and then get the products that I had. So if you know somebody that just doesn't have a way to start up, they can do it. It just is longer and it's a bit harder, but they can do it. 6 months in, I was earning over £2,000 a month, and my paycheck has gone up and up and up. So the fact that I had nothing to begin with doesn't stop anybody from getting where they want to be. So to end, what Arbonne has given for me is my identity. I have the ability to help people, and that is really strange for me because I've never had anything to give anybody. Now the fact that I can give somebody some skills and teach them and coach them is incredible. My daughters admire me as a person rather than just mum. My friends think I'm interested and driven and passionate, which is things that no one would have ever put with my name before Arbonne. I've met the most incredible people, and so many of you are in this room now. It is so much fun. This business is brilliant. If I didn't earn money from this, I would pay to have the fun that we have in Arbonne. I now don't envy other people that have got happiness, because now I have it and I share that with them too. And not only that, I get to give other people that gift that we've all had. So thank you so much, everybody, for listening to me and for bearing with me through being quite nervous.